So my job is a social prescribing link worker. So what that involves is us working with patients in their GP practices and also the community to help support our more vulnerable patients and improving their social support. I enjoy every day is different. I enjoy that you get new people coming through with new sort of new different backgrounds. You're always interacting with different people every time.
So I'm the social prescribing link worker manager. So I manage the team in Barnet, and we have a current team of 18 social prescribers working across 51 GP practices in Barnet, and I also deliver the service developments. So working on networking with the community, sort of engaging our service with our community in the primary care network, and then building on the developments to take it further. So I have a great team, really love the team, they're really passionate about what they do, which is really lovely to work with. But I love hearing more about what's going on in our community, making sure that people are getting the word out, making sure that people are getting connected to the really good stuff that's going on in Barnet. So it's a way for people just to essentially take the pressure off themselves. So a lot of people struggle to find the information or receive the support. Sometimes people don't know what they're after or what they feel they need. So just having that conversation to break down any kind of barriers that they may have, or having that kind of encouragement and motivation built through talking with a social prescriber is sometimes half the challenge of actually even engaging with a service in the beginning. So I definitely agree it can help a lot with just sort of building that further understanding of what's available in your community, what's on your front door. Sometimes it's really hard, but getting the word out, so it takes the pressure off community organisations for that as well. So it just helps people get connected.
What really stood out about the role is that I really enjoyed the holistic approach, and I enjoyed sort of the patient-led approach to it. So you work very closely with the patient and the community, and it's really about empowering the patients of how they can also support themselves, which in turn obviously builds a greater community and better health for them in the long run. But it is mainly sort of having that chat and just empowering them that they are able to help themselves with a little bit of confidence and a little bit of guidance. It's really nice to sort of see a patient from the start to the end sort of grow, and just what they achieve afterwards, later down the line, what sort of our impact has, whether it's being able to get into employment, and now sort of has a family, and now is started joining the football team, and is now part of a mental health charity supporting further people. We've got loads of sort of there's such great opportunities out there for people, and it's nice to be a part of the first step in them achieving their potential, I guess.
And there's no specific qualification, that's the beauty of this role, and it helps to have a real diverse range in your staff, because we obviously support a real wide range of different sort of needs. So we tend to say the ideal for kind of qualifications is either a health and social care, or sometimes even fitness, or I'm trying to think that kind of thing, or advising roles and things like that in the past. We do try to bring people on who have got casework experience, and particularly working with vulnerable patients. So it's more about the kind of experience rather than the actual qualifications itself. It helps to have a degree, but for us it's not essential. And so it's useful to have that kind of background knowledge. We have our team, some of them are mental health specialists in the past, some have been working in the charity sector, some have, like I said, been doing kind of information and advice roles, so it's a real mix. I think it helps to have a bit of a broader range on the team itself, but those are the kind of things we look for.
For me, the rewarding women, I'd say the top two, as I mentioned, speaking to the patients and being able, them thanking you is massively rewarding. Also sort of being feeling really part of a team within the community. We hosted online tea events to help build the community, and also working in the GP practices to support our more vulnerable patients. That whole teamwork is is a real great buzz around, especially with our colleagues pulling at information and relying on each other. It feels like a big family. There's a massive buzz to it. It's fun.
For me, part of my role is it's obviously a bridging gap from the primary care network to the community sector. So part of my role is hearing from both sides, so from the primary care network of what they're struggling to get in from the community sector, and also from the community sector struggling to get through the primary care network. So for me, a real rewarding moment was when we held this community engagement event, and we heard a lot of challenges that the community organisations were having with the GP practices, particularly in COVID, because obviously everything's not face to face. And there was one particular organisation who noticed, so it was actually the Jewish Deaf Association, who noticed that deaf people were struggling to get GP appointments and any kind of hearing impairment just because of the masks and not offering face to face. And so from that, I then created within the primary care network a space for them to do some deaf awareness training for the PCN staff, and that helped to engage and increase access. So that was a really great moment because it was a way for us to really kind of highlight issues and build that gap and build that bridge between our organisations that we work so closely with.
So for me, the way my job changed during COVID-19 was obviously we were placed remotely, so we were doing a lot of telephone calls, so we had to sort of adapt our interaction, our communication with the patients. We also stepped up and helped the GP practices by doing health calls. So we were checking in on patients that were more vulnerable, making sure that they were aware of what to look out for, the signs and symptoms of COVID-19. I also got trained up and I was vaccinating our patients and our residents of Barnet, so that was massive. So yeah, it just became sort of a huge twist of being able to support our patients also with their own isolation from COVID-19. So it was all about the self-help, as I said, the motivating. That also came into a big part of online support groups and communicating and connecting people online and how to show people to use the online platform.
So during COVID-19, my job changed quite a lot with just the whole kind of movement from face-to-face to online. So meetings and client consultations and everything moved to online or phone calls. So that was the sort of prime change, and our team also stopped for a period of time completely the service to be able to support the vaccine hub rollout, and that was a huge amount of work and volunteering at weekends and in sort of late nights and stuff to help with the vaccination process. So that was a really amazing time and helped us actually embed a bit more within the primary care networks, because you were seeing more and more people and being able to explain more about your role. So that was a great experience for us. But yeah, everything obviously swapped online, remote working teams, managing a team that's remote rather than being in the same building. So yeah, big changes. But one of the main things that obviously now we're trying to do all this dual kind of work, being able to offer telephone and now face-to-face. So it's lovely to come back and start doing face-to-face things again, and especially with networking in the community, it's quite hard to do it through Teams. So yeah, lovely to be able to do that face-to-face again. So if a young person's looking to do social prescribing, I would recommend getting some volunteer work in different charity organisations that offer information and advice. So whether that's offering kind of ad hoc information, ad hoc advice, mental health, try and really get a big mix, because this role you will see a different person every single day, every single situation that they come through will be completely different. So the more experience you can get, just speaking to a wide range of clients, wide range of backgrounds and cultures, the better prepare you for this job. And if you're a caring individual, you love to listen to people, passionately love to support people, this is definitely the job for you, and you can really hone in on those qualities as well.
If a young person's sort of looking to go into social prescribing, I'd say go for it. I think sort of, as mentioned, I think get as much experience and sort of knowing what's in the community, volunteering, trying to sort of muck in at events that are going on, and I would also sort of say that again you have to be sort of caring but also quite creative, because you do get loads of different people from all different backgrounds with quite unique problems and social issues that they're facing. So it's really about sort of being methodical and breaking it down, those barriers, and working together to figure out how you can both overcome them. So yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle.